Maker, this is Claire from Claire Makery, and today I am here to teach you how to do the avocado stitch. This is a super fun tapestry crochet stitch pattern, or intarsia crochet if you prefer that method of changing colors, and it is made using color work and adding bobbles as the centers of the avocados. I'm super excited to teach you this stitch tutorial. Before we get started, be sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well so you don't miss out on any of my crochet stitch patterns and tutorials I have here on my channel. And we'll go ahead and get started on this stitch pattern. To make this stitch, you are going to need a few different colors of worsted weight yarn. I am using a dark green as the basically peel of my avocado, and then this lighter green as the inside, and then a brown for the pit of the avocado. You can use any shades that you want to use. You could even make this in different colors if you want to. I just grabbed some random green and brown yarn from my stash, so this stitch makes a great stash buster. There aren't any requirements, and you can also use any weight yarn that you want and just use the same stitch pattern that I'll be teaching you how to do. And if you are using worsted weight yarn, you're going to need a size 6mm crochet hook to make this. Now let's go ahead and start crocheting. If you would like to follow along with me in this video, you can get the free chart and written pattern for this stitch on my blog at the link in the description. It will walk you through all the different stitch amounts you need to do this, and it will make a 6" by 6" square when you are all done. You can of course just take one of the avocados and put it on any project that you want to, but the written pattern that I have is specifically for just creating a swatch like this one, and then you can interpret it and use it however you would like. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin doing the avocado stitch square, what you're going to need to do is start with 3 rows of 24 single crochet stitches. So I've done this in my background color, which is the cream, and if you are using the chart, which is available for free on my blog, you'll see that it covers the entire square that we'll be making, and then it has the color work that we will be working off of for our avocados. So once you have your 3 rows of single crochet done, we are going to chain 1, and then we are going to turn our work and start on this row right here. And since it is an even number, that means that we are going to be starting on the wrong side of our work. So you can do this stitch where you start on the other side, we start on the right side of the work, but for this pattern and this demonstration, since we have this bobble on here, this is going to mean that we need to be working on the wrong side of our work once we get to that bobble, which is why we are starting our color work on this row. So we'll begin by chaining 1 and turning, and then we are going to do 4 single crochets, which is represented by 4 white squares on our graph. And then on that last single crochet, what we're going to do is we are going to take our first green yarn here, and this is the green yarn that I'm using for the avocado peel, and on that last yarn over where I would usually do the white stitch as that yarn over, I am going to take my green yarn and I'm going to bring this to the back side there, and then I will pull it through and officially switch colors to my green yarn. Then, because I've now switched colors, I'm going to pull my yarn a little bit tighter right there, and then I am going to do 5 green stitches with this yarn. As I do my single crochets with this new color, I am going to be holding my background color in the back of my work here, as well as the end that I would normally weave in later. But what I like to do is I like to carry my ends through my work as I make my color work. That way I don't have to weave in them later, and you don't end up with a bunch of ends as you join new colors. So I will go ahead and I'm going to carry my yarn here. Always make sure when you're carrying your yarn, whether you're working on the wrong side or the right side, that you have your strands of yarn in the back of your work. This will just make sure that it doesn't show through in the front. And if you run into any trouble with having your yarn color poke through the front, what you might want to do instead is, instead of carrying your yarn, use bobbins for intarsia crochet instead. You can find a video that shows you how to do all of that here on my channel. It's available at the link in the description, and that can walk you through all of the steps for intarsia crochet if you would rather not carry your colors. So once I get to my 5th stitch here, what I'm going to do is turn or pull that green yarn to the back, and then I'm going to switch back to my white yarn, pulling that thread through, and then I've officially switched back here. So because my stitches aren't spread that far apart, I am going to go ahead and keep carrying this green yarn as I work, remembering that you're on the wrong side, so you will want to make sure that those ends and that unused color stays on the back of your work. So then we will do our 6 stitches here to get across over to the other avocado, where we will then repeat the same process that we finished on this other one before we move on to the next color. So just go ahead and repeat this, what we just did with switching to this green, and then I'll show you how to do the next row in this stitch pattern. For this next row, what we will be doing is we are going to chain 1, and this is going to be row 5 here on our chart if you're following along with that. So you'll chain 1 and turn. Then we are going to do 3 of our background color with the single crochets. And then on this 3rd one, we are going to switch to our dark green color right here, like I showed you before. And then you'll pull that yarn tight so that you can maintain a nice even tension on your stitches. And then on this one, we are only going to be doing 1 stitch with this dark green. So instead of completing this stitch with this green yarn, then we're going to do what we did before, but this time add in the light green color for our inside of our avocado. So then we'll switch over like that, and now we have a new color added. So when you're doing crochet color work with multiple colors, remember that no matter what side you're on, you're going to always want to make sure that those ends are on the back side of your work. And if you are carrying 2 colors, I recommend holding them down like at the bottom of the stitch from the previous row. That will just make sure that it doesn't pop through on top of your stitches, and you can still carry the colors, they just won't show as much because you're holding them lower on your piece. So like I have these 2 colors that I'm using, but because I'm essentially pulling them down as I crochet around them. So I do my stitch around those different threads, but I am pulling it down with my back fingers here, basically just rolling it and doing like a light pull on there. And then that way, when I do these stitches, the other yarn colors don't poke through and I can carry them without having to worry about that. Then we're going to switch back to our dark green yarn on that last yarn over, do 1 of those stitches there, and then we will switch back to our background color to go across to the other avocado and do the exact same thing that we just did with the other side. So what you'll see here is the dark green, because it is such a contrasting color, sometimes it will pop through your work as you are crocheting with using Tapestry Crochet with where you carry the colors. So if you don't like how this looks, it kind of creates a woven texture on your pieces, then what you can just do is just do intarsia crochet. So you just join the yarn where you need it and just use it in that section where you're going to do that color work. And then that way you won't have any of that yarn showing through. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to be carrying the colors. So if you are carrying your colors like I am, then you're going to want to make sure that you carry both of your greens across to the other avocado before you switch to do the exact same thing that we just finished up and do it on the other avocado that we've got right here. Now that we've got that row done with the green colors here, we are going to move on to the row that has the bobble as the pit of the avocado. So you'll chain 1, turn your work, and then we are going to single crochet 3 till we get to this first green stitch right there. And then we're going to switch to our dark green yarn. Pull that, do the 1 stitch with the dark green, then we will switch over to the lighter green as we finish off that stitch, and then we are going to be carrying our yarn, or if you don't have to if you're not doing the tapestry crochet. So then we're going to do 2 stitches in this green, and on that second one you're going to take whatever color you're using for the pit of your avocado, and then you're going to pull this green yarn to the back there, and then we are going to add in our brown yarn to switch over to this new color. So then what we will do is we are going to be doing a bobble stitch in the center of our avocado as our avocado pit. So how you are going to be doing that is it starts out like a normal double crochet, but then we do more yarn overs. If you've never done a bobble stitch, I'm going to walk you right through it right now so you can see how to do it. So you yarn over once, then you're going to insert your hook in that next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop through that stitch, yarn over, and pull through those first 2 loops on your hook. Then you're going to just repeat that whole process of yarning over, inserting through the stitch, yarning over, and then pulling through 2 stitches, and we are going to repeat this till we have 7 loops on our hook after going through those first 2 stitches on there. So I've got 6 on my hook now, and actually we're going to go ahead and do 8 so that we can have a nice big bobble for our pit. So then once you have all of these loops on your hook, I know it looks like a lot, but you are totally going to be able to do this. Then instead of finishing off our bobble with the brown yarn like you normally would with a bobble stitch, we're going to take our light green yarn here, and we are going to yarn over and pull that through all of those loops on our hook and pull the brown yarn to tighten that stitch up. And what I would recommend doing with this is having yarn bobbins to do these stitches with the brown yarn. That way you don't have to carry it and make your fabric a little bit thicker. So then we'll do 2 stitches with the green, the lighter green, and then switch over to the brown and do that. There you go. Then we're going to switch back to our background color and make sure that all of your strands of yarn are on the back of your work. And then if you're carrying your colors, then you can carry your greens across and then join your brown again over here and just repeat it to get another bobble stitch on the other avocado. On the next row, once we've gotten our second avocado pit, we are going to chain 1, turn, and then this time instead of doing the 3 single crochets, we are going to go ahead and do 4 single crochets. So we will go all the way across like this, and then you are going to do 1 single crochet into this stitch with your background color. Then we're going to pick up the green, and essentially what we're doing here is we are decreasing the color work without doing any actual decreases. So we're making the color work move in by just shifting which stitches have which color, and it just then will give us that avocado look. So then we will do 1 green stitch with the dark green, then we are going to switch to our lighter green, and then we are going to be doing single crochets across to the other side of the avocado, and we are going to do 1 single crochet here, and then you do 1 single crochet in the top of your bobble stitch. And I will be trimming my brown yarn because we won't be using that till you do another set of avocados, or if you're just doing this normal one, then you don't have to use that color anymore. Then we'll switch back to the green and then do one stitch there and switch back to our background color before we repeat this on the other side. So then just single crochet across, and then you're going to repeat this same exact row that you just did here on the next row as well before we finish off the avocado with this dark green color. So at this point on your avocados, you will have just one row left. This one right here with the main color and then the top of the avocado left to do, and then you'll have completed your first avocado stitches. So how you'll start this row is you will start by doing a chain one and turning, and I've already gone ahead and trimmed my other excess yarns that I'm not using anymore, and just keeping the main color and this darker green so that I know that those are the only two I'm working with this row. So then I will crochet over here. We're going to do 5 single crochets in the white. Then we're going to take our dark green yarn here, switch the color, and then go across doing 3 green stitches on the top of the avocado before we pick our white yarn back up, and then we continue across doing the normal single crochets till we get to the other avocado stitch. So basically this is just the set of rows that you are going to be doing to continue to make these avocado stitches. You can do as many as you want on a row or as few. You can spread them apart, have them super close together, and you can just keep repeating this same color work stitch pattern that's on the chart or the written pattern that's available on my blog, and just keep repeating that till your square reaches the final length that you want it to be. Well, I hope you enjoyed this stitch tutorial video. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming stitch tutorials. And you can find the free written pattern and chart for this pattern on my blog at the link in the description as well. And I can't wait to share all of the upcoming crochet stitch tutorials that I have planned for you here on my channel. And I will see you next time. Bye! Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like it below if you enjoyed watching it, and hit the subscribe button if you never want to miss out a video from me, and also check out my other videos and tutorials on my channel. See you next time.